So today we have a community volunteer day. We are pulling weeds, mostly fireweed, mullein, telegraph weeds, some common weeds that are found on Mauna Kea. Really what we're trying to do is remove them along the road shoulders and along the sides of parking areas so that vehicle traffic and visitors and those that work on the mountain don't inadvertently spread seeds further up the mountain where the ecological impact would be greater. And the other thing that we're really focusing on is looking for invasive insect species like ants. There are no native ants in Hawaii, and there are no ants at all above Halepohaku on Mauna Kea, at least as far as we know. And that's something that we spend a lot of time and effort trying to keep it that way. And these weed pulls are one of the best ways we have for finding new isolated populations of ants that we can then come in afterwards and try and remove and work with Department of Land and Natural Resources to figure out what the best approach is to manage other invasive species issues that are identified in the course of doing these events. Yeah, this is part of the Malama Mauna Kea campaign that our office has, part of our stewardship to care for Mauna Kea. We do things like weed pulls, we do some restoration work, we do a variety of different monitoring of invasive species, of native species, of historic resources, and other types of sort of general resource management on the mountain. Consistent with the 2009 Mauna Kea Comprehensive Management Plan, and that we report to the Board of Land and Natural Resources on an annual basis.
We've been pulling a lot of baby mulleins all over the place. So there's not a lot quantity-wise in bags, but a lot of little babies that we're preventing from getting bigger.
And by pulling weeds today, what's the purpose?
The purpose is basically mostly for outreach, so getting the community involved in what we're doing, letting them know what opportunities are up here, and of course just helping to manage the invasive species around areas of high traffic, like around the parking lot areas and facilities up at Halepohaku.
Well, it's an opportunity to volunteer into one of what I consider one of the most beautiful places to come and volunteer and actually have a wonderful day out at the same time. You come up here, the air is clear, the sun is shining, it's cooler than down in Hilo, and we're brought up here by transportation, and we're at Halepohaku, and we weed for about 2.5 hours, and we can choose how much or how little we do. We can sit on the ground and just pull the small weeds around us, or we can just walk around and pull the bigger weeds if you want to. And then we fill all the bags. It's a very peaceful, wonderful place. You can sit close to your friends and chat if you wish to, or you can just take yourself off on the side or under a tree and happily pull weeds. And then later on they provide lunch for us. And this is the second time I've come up here. And the last time after lunch there was a lady, one of the biologists, Jessica, and she gave an absolutely fascinating PowerPoint presentation on all the insects that she's doing research on up here on Mauna Kea. And then, we were bussed back to Hilo. So it's a fabulous way of spending a Saturday, being able to do volunteer work in a wonderful, beautiful location. And I would definitely come up again and suggest it to anybody, because it can be as easy or as hard as you wish it to be, and wonderful opportunity.
Really like to see new folks come up and see new faces come up here, experience Mauna Kea, learn more about the mountain. Typically with these weed pulls, we come up on a Saturday. We'll pull weeds for a few hours, and then part of the day is an opportunity to get inside some of the facilities that the permit for the university to have the facility requires that it be use be focused on management of the mountain and for astronomy. It's not by the permit does not allow us to make them open to the public, but it's a chance to get people inside the facilities, to see inside the facilities. And then we have a presentation on the mountain, so that we talk about the mountain resources, various subjects. We've had the privilege of having different folks, like the scientist in charge of HVO has talked on the volcanology of Mauna Kea. We've had astronomers talk about the history of astronomy or new findings on Mauna Kea, some of the cultural resources of Mauna Kea, the natural resources of Mauna Kea. So it's more than just pulling weeds and sort of the work outside. We get a chance to see inside some of the facilities and have a discussion about what Mauna Kea means to different folks, and we're always looking to engage with new partners in the community.